Hi everybody, we are back for the Kitsune Fox part 2. This is for the actual druid part. So here we've got the wonderful and beautiful resin sculpt by Thunder Deep Minis. Oh, knocked it over, clumsy me. But we are mixing paints like we normally do. Just the normal craft paint is all I use. She's a gorgeous mini, by the way, highly detailed. And this entire video is going to be just on her skin. I spent like a good 3-4 hours on just her skin alone, and I condensed it down into this short video. So there's going to be a whole lot of sped up parts. Here you see me mixing a general golden brown kind of medium skin tone. A little bit on the lighter side of medium. And here we go, applying it, and then I just go ahead and apply it all around the miniature, all on anywhere there is skin, just as a base layer. So it's a fairly thinner consistency because it's just my base layer, and I do like go back over it. So there's going to be a lot of building of layers for this. It was really tricky getting into some of those details and making sure I had all of her skin covered and everything. But we got there. And if you're wondering, this was recorded on Twitch. We do Twitch stream all of our mini paints. So you can catch us there, and if you don't quite make the stream, all the videos are there. Get those beautiful shoulders and her neckline. The hard part's gonna come later with all the shadows and highlights. And if you're wondering why her claw that's holding the orb is painted white, it's going to be a glow effect with actual like glow paint and everything. So I'm just painting a very thin coat of skin tone over that, trying to keep that as light as possible, because the focus of it is going to be anywhere there's glow. It's going to be like super light. So later we can add the pink. We're mixing in some light. We're mixing a light shadow color there. Nothing too dark and drastic, just trying to get some of the lighter shadows in. That way if it overspilled on the skin tone, it would blend. Now we are mixing up a light version of her skin tone, trying to get some of those glow effects settled in, as long as also with the highlights where the glow is going to be, like along her face, her shoulders and bust area, etc. Do I see me going over that claw area again? I'm trying to just keep that nice and light, but still show that it has skin underneath. Getting more of the highlighted areas, like her butt, the back of her calves, the front chin, etc. I always try and start with the skin first, especially if a lot of her skin is showing, because it's going to be the messiest part of the whole model. Here we're mixing, I want to say we're mixing an even lighter color. Yes, we're mixing an even lighter color. Trying to hit just peak points on her skin. Tops of her thighs, the tops of her shoulders, the side of the face that's getting the high glow from it, her claw. So right now I'm just building up the highlights. Making her skin look nice and fresh and kind of dewy looking. With that much highlighter, we all know the skin's gotta look nice and dewy and like she lives out in nature. I believe now I'm mixing up a shadow color. Going back in with the darker shadow color this time. How to wet the brush because I want it a little bit runnier than the paint I've been working with. So even with the flow fluid I normally use, it's not getting as runny as I want it. I want it a little bit runnier. Yep, mixing up darker shadows. And dropping them in. And after we dropped in all the shadows, now I'm going back with the highlights and kind of fixing the highlights and making some of them even brighter. Just kind of blending and like wet blending, going into the water, kind of blending them down, making sure they look more subtle. They don't just look like blobs of brown painted under her skin. Now we're mixing her original like more medium skin tone to kind of try and get everything finalized and finished. So I didn't blend the highlights into the shadows, and that way her skin doesn't look too light. I was starting to worry about her skin looking too light. I wanted it to look like she had been in the sun. I wanted it to look kind of more golden, lightly tanned. I didn't want it to look too light, like she had been like in a cave or had never seen the outside. So that's not what a druid does. A druid spends lots of time outside in nature. Now I'm just going in, touching up the highlights. Gonna touch up the sphere a little bit, make sure any paint we got on the sphere. I'm gonna touch that up with just some pure white. right there you can see like some of it either got scratched off or something. So I'm just gonna go back in and touch that up, put some pure white over the claw. Just anywhere I think could use pure white, we're gonna go right in with some pure white. Pure white on my palette at this point was just non-usable. So just getting out some fresh paint. And I'm just absorbing any like large droplets of white that got in between her details. Which is one beautiful thing about these Thunder Deep minis, they're highly detailed. But if any of your paint globs or anything, you might have to go back in and just absorb some of that extra paint like I'm doing here. So you can see all those little details very well. And though it's a messy finish, I think this is where we actually end up being happy with what we've done. I'm just kind of looking her over, seeing if there's anything I want to do. But I think we end up being fairly happy. Oh, no. Not yet. I think there's one more thing I spotted I wanted to do or thin out or something. Love wearing old jackets and clothes. Just wipe off whatever paint on my clothes. No, I think I started to clean up. So I think we're actually happy with her at this point. And this is the final product as of right now. Tune in to part 3. If you're liking this content, please make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more. We will see you in part 3.